Wilderness, having Bigfoot chasing me and everything. I still don't think we're safe, Andy. It's crazy. Bigfoot, Sasquatch is alive and well in Montana. It is a holiday today. The place is empty, Andy. It is just, there is nobody here. I got a parking spot right up front. Ain't not a soul in here. And that is because it is Columbus Day. No, wait a minute. It is Indigenous People Day. No, it's Vikings Day. No, it's Land Bridge Day. Second Monday in October in 1937, Andy, 37, by presidential and congressional they proclaimed that it would be Columbus Day because Columbus discovered America. Now, it's always rubbed me the wrong way that it always has. In 1492, the Pina, the Colada, and the Santa Maria, they discovered the West Indies, Trinidad, Cuba. They never, ever set foot on the North American continent. The closest they came was southern Central America, which would be now southern Central America. They never, ever, never. Columbus didn't discover America. First of all, there were already people in North America. Okay, it'd be like if I went to someone's house and said, "Hey, I discovered your living room. We're watching the game tonight." There were people already here, for starters, okay? So, and there's, the indigenous people were here, but where did they come from? Well, the Vikings discovered it. Columbus didn't do it. The Vikings did it. That's a stretch for starters. Okay, it is a stretch. There's a lot of holes in the Viking theory. They may have discovered Greenland or Iceland, but maybe landed on Nova Scotia. But the Vikings didn't discover America either. They were people already here. And they were people here because that Russia, which is now modern-day Russia and Siberia and all that up there, and America, which is all northern Canada and Alaska, were once connected by an ice bridge, at least, with snow and ice, and it was fairly thick and very, very travelable. Is that a word, Andy? Travelable? In other words, people could they'd be trucking to North America, okay? There was Paleolithic hunters and gatherers 18 million years ago, 18,000 years ago. Came over the ice bridge, started settling. We know that by the time the Vikings or Columbus discovered, actually the Spain were the first people to land on the North American continent, but there were already people here. There were the Iroquois and the Niagaras and the Seminoles, and out west the Apaches and the Hopi and the Navajo and the Blackfoot up here in okay? And as you go south, we have the Mayans, the Incas. There's people not only here, but there was well-established civilizations here when Columbus showed up in 1492. 1492, shit, man, that ain't long. That ain't gone. Yeah, there's way people here, okay? So I've always had a problem with us calling it Columbus Day because anyone that went to school, grade school, would know that, first of all, Columbus he discovered the West Indies. And Cuba, maybe. Trinidad, Tobago. I like how that sounds, Tobago. I'm playing my bongos. He discovered these places. There's natives and tribal already there too, so that discovery shit rubs me the wrong way. So all I know is banks are closed, everything's closed, mail's closed, and I gotta be coming in here and complaining about how the holiday doesn't jive with history. And of course, when the Spaniards and Portuguese were the first to try to settle before the French, before the British, okay? They were the first, and of course they brought with them, and what the Spaniards did is they discovered the West Indies, and then they kept going west. Andy, we got navigation this morning. We got my compass. They kept going west, and they found Central America, and then went south from South America at first, as Cortez. And basically the Mayans and the Incas were wiped out 5,000-6,000 years ago. That soon, that recent. Huge civilizations. Poofed, gone. Smallpox is what did it. So yeah, Columbus didn't discover anything besides, if you do some history, you do some research with Columbus, he wasn't a really nice guy either. He normal for the times, but not a nice guy. Nice guys. Everybody's going crazy about speaking about not a nice guy, Andy. My whole Facebook, Instagram, everywhere is just Jeffrey Dahmer. Is Jeff here? Is he here for... Jeffrey is not here. He's not... Jeffrey Epstein. No, he's not here. That carpetbagger Jeff Bezos that's got Thursday night. Can you imagine having Thursday night football last week? Hell, what a game. It sucked. But anyway, Jeffrey Dahmer's in the news. Jeffrey Dahmer, everybody's, ooh, Jeffrey Dahmer's a creepy guy. Ooh, Jeffrey Dahmer scares me. Oh, the TV scares me. I'm scared at the TV. You're all going crazy about Jeffrey Dahmer. Well, while we got one going on right now in Stockton, California. They got 6 victims. It's been active over a year. They have a suspect, Andy. I hear there's looking for someone. They're profiled. It's funny when you talk about serial killers. As you all know, and I've mentioned before, I went to college. Thank you for paying off my student loans. One of the classes that you wasted your money on, it was a 2-semester class, so it went all year. I took Serial Killers 1 and 2. It was a sociology, psychology credits, 6 credits. And if you think the Jeffrey Dahmer show on Netflix was fucking creepy, try taking a class on this shit. There was not censored. They showed no holds barred. It was the scariest shit that I have ever encountered. First of all, serial killers are everywhere. They are practicing right now. And when I say that they're serial, my class taught me, Mike Lowe was my professor and he was my advisor, and Mike taught us that, at any given moment in time in the United States alone, and we seem to have more serial killers than anyone else. At any given moment, there's hundreds of serial killers out there. Does that mean that hundreds are killing every day? No. It means that they've killed, they're going to kill again, they're stalking, they're doing whatever they do. That was the scariest thing when he taught the class, was that there was everybody. They could be the guy next door, and usually are the guy next door. The statistics are staggering. And everybody's in the United States. There's a lot of missing people all the time. We have an epidemic up here on the reservations of missing people. We have if you start looking at the statistics of people in the United States missing on a yearly basis, Andy, is that number right? 600,000 a year? Fuck. Everybody's like, where are they going? Between being abducted by aliens, which I covered a couple shows, and serial killers, which I'm talking about now, shit, it's a no-brainer. Not only are they practicing and that they're the people next door, but as a victim, if you are picked as a victim of a serial killer, you're not going to change his mind, and you're not going to usually get away. They're good at what they do. Jeffrey Dahmer this, Jeffrey Dahmer that. There's other serial killers out there, and there's we all grew up listening to Jack the Ripper in London, okay? When they still don't know who he was, he has surgical skills. Killed prostitutes. Ted Bundy. We all know who Ted Bundy is. He was the handsome congressman's aide, college graduate, just a personable guy. And he killed people all over the place. He finally killed the 3 girls in Tallahassee, and that's what got him the death penalty. He's an escape artist, highly intelligent. Ed Gein. He's an older serial killer in Texas. We have Lucas in Texas, too. But Ed Gein is the inspiration for the Silence in the Lamb movie. He was Wild Bill, Big Bill, Wild Bill. Yeah. And so he wore the mask and wore people. He was also an inspiration for the Texas Chainsaw Massacres movie. They kind of elaborate because of Hollywood. But, fucking Ed Gein was freaky enough, man. Killed her. John Wayne Gacy, Chicago, Illinois. Pictures with Rosalind Carter, community member, clown. You guys that are scared of clowns, fucking yeah, you got a reason to be with John Wayne Gacy around. His body count was higher than Dahmer's, almost double Dahmer's, wasn't it, Eddie? When we're talking, Gacy was 32? There was 20 some odd in his basement. Right, yeah. A clown. A killer clown. He's a killer clown. He's a killer clown. Guy next door. Preyed on guys that were homeless, down on their luck, young boys, just like Dahmer. He was not a cannibal, though. Dahmer ate people. We had Wichita, Kansas. This guy is a freaky dude, man. Dennis Rader, he's the BTK, bind, torture, kill. He is a public service guy that county civil worker dude that hated everybody, and he'd go and bind, torture, and kill people. He screwed up by using the computer at a church, and they traced technology, they had criminal minds on it. They traced the computer and found him at a church, and there's, Dennis Rader. But he was like, his family couldn't believe it. His neighbors are like, he's a nice guy. You ever notice that they're always like, he's a nice guy when they're talking about serial killers? It's like, yeah, he was a nice guy. He was, he kept to himself. No, he wasn't a fucking nice guy. He was a goddamn fucking serial killer. What do you mean he was a nice guy? Gary Ridgeway, is that name for people in the Northwest? That was the Green River. Did Creedence have a song about it? It was Green River. It had nothing to do with Gary. I stand corrected. Gary Ridgeway was the Green River killer outside of Seattle. He body count was just ridiculous. These guys, they're good at what they do. That was one of the things I took the class from Mike Lowe, and that was one of the things that we talked about, was that they're good at what they do. They're smart. They're the serial killers. The Zodiac killer, they never caught him. They never caught the Zodiac killer. There's a lot of them. The couple in Canada, There's another two guys, Daniel Nye and his co-defendant, and that was outside of Napa area in California. They had a little bunker. What about Richard? Richard, what are you doing? Richard, who's your favorite little rascal? Is it Spanky? I'm talking about Richard Ramirez. The Night Stalker. He used to, as a freaky dude, Richard Ramirez was a Night Stalker. He'd find, it was in the summer, California, Los Angeles. Everybody would leave their windows open at night. I don't know, I live in Great Falls, Montana. I have the fan in the window. Okay? He'd cut the window, come in. He usually preyed on younger or older couples, elderly couples. Richard Ramirez was kind of a different, he was an opportunistic serial killer. Night Stalker. He was like, and another thing about these sick guys, the Night Stalker had this little pentagram when he was, Hail Satan, wait, live long and prosper. He had his pentagram. He was going to see us all in hell. Wasn't that Arlene? What was her name? Arlene Nerus, the woman that killed, 7 guys in Florida? Ooh, nuts, crazy. What the class told me is that serial killers are usually born, not made. They already have something short-circuited, and then something happens, and bingo. Wayne Nance is the serial killer that I grew up with in Missoula, Montana when I went to Sentinel High School. Wayne Nance was a graduating class of 1974. I graduated in 1975. Wayne was just a year ahead of me. So when I was a sophomore, he was a junior, et cetera, et cetera. And I reiterate this that I mentioned earlier in an earlier podcast, but I went to school with Wayne Nance, and he was a serial killer. And did we know that he was a serial killer? No, we did not. We knew he was an oddball. And once Donna Pounds was killed, her son Kenny was adamant that Wayne did it, but who's going to listen to a bunch of kids that throw kegers? But Wayne Nance was not only opportunistic, but he was smart too. He just found himself in a situation that they killed his ass. It just. So, Jeffrey Dahmer is a badass, and you should all be freaked out about the movie, but don't discount that there's a shit ton of serial killers right now. They're practicing their trade. We've got a lot of missing people up in the reservations. Everybody's all like it's human trafficking. Yeah, maybe. Just like girls that run away to the big city and they come missing, it's human trafficking. They're whores now and they're working the streets. Maybe. In all occasions, no. So, yeah, it was weird. It was weird watching it, It's brought up all the class. Everybody's posting memes. Andy, I posted a meme on, Saturday of our podcast with Dahmer. So it's the big trend. Everybody's scared of Dahmer, but, there's people plying their trade. Even Monday, Columbus Day, Land Bridge Day, Viking Day, Indigenous People Day, they're practicing their trade. So, what I like about today, Andy? I like about today, it signals something. October is the only month of the year where you have all 4 major sports, plus college football. And by 4 major sports, I mean professional baseball, playoffs are here, professional hockey starts fucking tonight, professional basketball, and college football. You got 5 sports going on. It's only going to last for a couple weeks. But besides the leaves changing, and Columbus Day, Indigenous People Day, Vikings Day, Land Bridge Day is always signaled for me. This is the start of hockey season. Let's go Red Wings. Last week, Ukraine, Russia, what was it, Friday? They blew up the freaking main bridge between Crimea which was illegally annexed in 2014 under the Barack Obama administration. He didn't do a damn thing about it. So now he's just crazy. It's got to the point. I mean, that was the main bridge for all the munitions, troops. That was in and out of Crimea. They blew up, and they're laughing about it. Yesterday on the Sunday, whatever it's called in the morning, they were laughing about it. We blew up your bridge. Now try to have brunch. And Putin's like, I just wanted to have brunch and with all my troops. His girlfriend's in the news. Putin's girlfriend, alleged girlfriend, a gymnast. She can't leave the country. Land bridges are blowing up. Everybody's Putin nuked this. It's got to the point where it's all, you still need to duck and cover, but what's he going to nuke? He's losing his butt. Okay, he's losing his ass. Troops are he's not even holding his own anymore. Ukraine is taking the offensive. Now what? He wants to, always protect the motherland. So, school shooting. Andy, do you see that? School shooting in Thailand? 20, 29, 28 kids. Thailand's picking up the United States mentality. Prove me wrong. We had a knifing. Knives don't kill people. People with knives kill people. 2 dead, 4 injured in Las Vegas. And I am assuming I have 1 tourist and one of the showgirls. And what they say by the showgirls is the showgirls that go out of the casino in their gear and they take pictures with the tourist. And, you know, Andy, if we were there because we had our Pipewrench, we'd want to get our picture with the showgirls, okay? And I think it's $50 for a picture. So, yeah, then we had guns, knives, United States, Thailand. People are going to do what people are going to do. So, the United States of America, the United States, has spent, it says $290 million. Now, you know they're always lying to us in the government, Andy. Always lying. Saying, oh, we only spent $290 million on brunch. They spent $290 million on anti-radiation pills in anticipation of nuclear war. First of all, if the whole country and the whole world's nuked, how are you going to get pills to people? And who the fuck are you going to get pills to? Who are these pills for? And why are we spending $290 million as a government, as the United States, buying nuclear radiation, anti-radiation freaking pills? It's almost like goddamn comedy. It's seriously, it's like, oh, we got to get some radiation pills so we can take them with brunch. It's like there's not going to be any brunch. Radiation pills. Remember, Andy, do you believe it? Radiation pills, anti-radiation pills, they were delivered to the government by the coyote from the Acme Radiation Pills Company. Talk about ridiculous. Middle of a price cut, inflation, gas. Saudis told us basically last week to go fuck ourselves. They lowered prices in Europe, raised prices in the United States, all over the Russian sanctions. Gas is going to be winter gas, Andy. $8 here in Great Falls by January, February. But thank God we're going to have some anti-radiation pills. All right. We're out of here. Andy says we're out of here. So, thanks for coming in this Columbus Day, Indigenous People Day, Vikings Day, Land Bridge Day. There are already fucking people here day. Those of you that got to work this morning, if you're looking at about 8 o'clock, you've got, if I wait that second hand, Andy, they're going to be late. You are late right now. So, have a good week, everybody. We don't have anything in the can. We might go to a restaurant this week and get it on film. Everybody, remember to do your duck and cover drills. If you're in New York, you have to go inside. Don't go out. Get inside you go inside and go underneath something. Anybody else? Shit, I'm going outside. Kiss your dogs. Adopt. Don't shop. Rescue. Foster. Get involved. Empty the shelters. I see on Facebook people, I'm looking for dogs. Shelters full of them, folks. dogs that lead homes, dogs that are already trained, dogs that already know, dogs that need love. So, adopt, don't shop. You got adopt, don't shop. Empty the shelters. Learn to duck and cover. Kiss your dogs. Have a great week. I will see you next Monday morning.